Welcome to Elevate and Thrive, where your mindset evolves. You've been working hard, you've been showing up every day, giving your all, and yet it feels like nothing is happening. That frustration, that feeling that progress is impossible, it's because progress is invisible at first. What you see with your eyes, the results, the recognition, the applause, it's just the tip of the iceberg underneath the surface. The real work is happening quietly, invisibly, in ways that you can't measure immediately. You plant the seed, but the seed doesn't sprout overnight. It doesn't grow into a tree in a day. If this is helping you shift your mindset, subscribe to Elevate and Thrive. This channel is for your growth. It doesn't bloom in a week. It grows roots. Deep, strong roots that anchor it against storms and drought. Those roots are the unseen work, the preparation, the invisible grind that sets the stage for explosive growth later. When you put in the work, when you study, when you practice, when you push yourself beyond your comfort zone, you are building your roots, you are preparing the foundation for results that will show up in ways that will surprise you, in ways that will feel magical, but only because you didn't see the hours, the repetitions, the quiet sacrifices that created them. This is why progress feels impossible. Your brain is wired to look for evidence. It wants to see results immediately. It wants to feel the payoff, and when it doesn't, it convinces you that your effort is wasted, that your struggle is meaningless. But the truth is that your effort is never wasted. Every extra hour, every difficult decision, every time you pushed yourself when it felt uncomfortable, every time you failed and got back up, that is progress. You just can't see it yet. Your muscles don't grow after a single workout. They grow while you sleep, while your body repairs itself, while your nervous system adapts. The results are delayed, invisible, but undeniable if you stay consistent. The same is true in life, in business, in personal growth. You can't expect the transformation to be instant, but every moment you put in, every time you refuse to quit, every time you choose action over excuses, you are building something extraordinary. You are preparing the breakthrough that will feel sudden, but that is actually the result of thousands of invisible steps taken when no one was watching. You have to trust the process, trust that the work you do today, even if it feels meaningless, is the work that makes tomorrow possible. Invisible progress is often the hardest to believe in because it challenges your need for immediate proof. Your mind wants to see evidence. It wants to feel the result. When it doesn't, it screams that you are failing. That is the trap. That is why so many people quit. They can't see the growth beneath the surface, so they assume it isn't there. They assume their effort is worthless. But the reality is that progress is always happening whether you see it or not. Every time you face discomfort, every time you overcome fear, every time you learn something new, every time you improve even a tiny bit, your roots grow deeper. You are stronger, smarter, sharper, more resilient than you were yesterday. You are preparing for the moment when all of that invisible work becomes visible. When the tree blooms, when the results manifest, when the world sees what you've been building in silence. And when that happens, the people around you will be amazed. They will see only the tip of the iceberg, the visible result. And they will not understand the thousands of invisible hours, the quiet battles, the late nights, the sacrifices, the moments you chose discipline over comfort. But you will know because you lived it. You will know because every invisible step mattered. Every invisible step built you. You are not behind. You are not failing. You are building a foundation that will hold up under pressure, a foundation that will allow you to reach heights you never imagined. Invisible progress is the secret weapon of champions. It is the unseen work of legends. It is the quiet grind that separates those who succeed from those who quit. The key is to keep going, to keep putting in the effort, to trust that every repetition, every effort, every struggle is planting roots, creating strength, and preparing you for the results that will inevitably follow. You don't have to see it. You don't have to feel it. You just have to keep moving forward, keep grinding, keep building, because progress is always happening, even when it feels impossible, even when the world doesn't notice, even when your mind tries to convince you that it's useless. Invisible progress is proof that your future self is being built today, quietly, steadily, relentlessly, and the moment will come when the visible results catch up, when everything aligns, when your hard work manifests, and the world will see the unstoppable force you've been creating all along. We live in a world that wants to give us everything immediately. Instant results, instant validation, instant recognition. You post something, you want likes instantly. You take action, you want success instantly. You work hard, you want rewards instantly. That's the trap. That's why so many people feel like progress is impossible. That's why so many people quit before their breakthrough even arrives. Patience beats instant gratification. And this is the lesson that separates those who achieve greatness from those who settle for mediocrity. Life doesn't reward those who rush. Life rewards those who stay disciplined, those who endure, those who are willing to wait for the payoff. Every success story, every legendary achievement, Every monumental breakthrough was built by people who refused to give up, even when results were slow, even when the world didn't notice, even when it felt like nothing was happening. Patience is not passive. Patience is active. Patience is persistence wrapped in time. It's showing up every day, putting in the work, taking the small steps, and trusting that the results will come. It's choosing long-term gain over short-term pleasure. Instant gratification is seductive. It whispers, take the easy path, skip the hard work, do what feels good right now. And it's a lie. It destroys dreams. It steals potential. It convinces you that your effort isn't working because you can't see the results immediately. But patience understands the rhythm of growth. Patience knows that the process takes time. Patience knows that effort compounds. Patience knows that discipline now will pay off later in ways that will feel magical, unstoppable. And unstoppable, you have to embrace discomfort. You have to resist the temptation to quit. You have to fight the urge to measure yourself by immediate outcomes. Growth, transformation, and real success are not instant. They are cumulative. They build slowly, quietly, invisibly. They require consistency, focus, and an unwavering belief that what you're doing today matters, even if the world can't see it yet. Every late night, every early morning, every tough decision, every rejection, every failure, it all matters. It all adds up, and the only way to make it add up is to stay patient. Patience is your secret weapon. It allows you to endure when others give up. It allows you to keep moving forward when progress seems invisible. It allows you to make choices that sacrifice temporary comfort for long-term victory. When you master patience, you stop chasing instant results. You stop looking for validation from others. You stop comparing your journey to someone else's highlight reel. You focus on your own path, your own growth, your own discipline, knowing that time is your ally, not your enemy. The greatest accomplishments, the ones that last, the ones that define history, were built on patience. Athletes who trained for years before they broke records, entrepreneurs who failed hundreds of times before their business took off, artists who practiced relentlessly before their work gained recognition. They all understood the power of waiting, the power of persistence, the power of doing the work consistently while the world doubted, mocked, or ignored them. And here's the reality: impatience is the enemy of progress. Impatience convinces you that your effort is worthless. Impatience convinces you to quit too soon. Impatience convinces you to settle for less. But patience allows you to endure, to stay disciplined, to keep grinding, knowing that every action is an investment in the future version of yourself. Every sacrifice now becomes a victory later. Every struggle now becomes strength later. Every rejection now becomes resilience later. Patience is the bridge between effort and results. It's the invisible force that transforms hard work into achievement. It's the quiet discipline that turns small, consistent actions into massive success. So when you feel frustrated, when you feel like your hard work isn't paying off, when progress feels impossible, remember that you are not behind. You are building, you are growing, you are laying the foundation for something extraordinary. You are exercising patience, and patience is the ultimate game changer. It allows you to endure when others quit. It allows you to keep going when results are invisible. It allows you to focus on the process, not the immediate outcome, knowing that the payoff is inevitable for those who refuse to give up. Patience beats instant gratification. Patience allows you to win the long game. Patience turns consistent effort into unstoppable momentum. Patience transforms struggle into strength, effort into results, and discipline into destiny. The only thing standing between you and the breakthrough you seek is your willingness to endure, to persist, to be patient, and to trust that time is on your side. Every moment you resist the urge to quit, every moment you resist the pull of instant pleasure, every moment you choose persistence over impatience, you are building a future that is unstoppable, undeniable, and extraordinary. Consistency is what separates dreamers from achievers, talkers from doers, the ordinary from the extraordinary. Talent alone will not carry you. Motivation alone will not carry you. Inspiration alone will not carry you. What carries you through the storms, through the doubts, through the setbacks is consistency. Showing up day after day, putting in the work, even when you don't feel like it, even when results are slow, even when nobody is watching, that is the power that changes everything. Consistency is the ultimate weapon because it compounds. Small efforts repeated relentlessly turn into massive results over time. One extra hour, one extra decision, one extra step repeated daily creates exponential growth. You cannot outwork consistency with occasional bursts of effort. You cannot replace it with flashes of brilliance. The world rewards those who are dependable, those who show up, those who refuse to quit. Every successful person you admire achieved what they did not because they had a lucky break, but because they were consistent. They built habits, they mastered routines, they refused to allow excuses or distractions to dictate their destiny. You can have talent, but without consistency, it will fade. You can have intelligence, but without consistency, it will remain untapped potential. You can have a vision, but without consistency, it will remain a dream. Consistency Consistency is the engine that turns potential into reality, ideas into action, and effort into results. It is what turns ordinary people into legends. You don't have to do everything at once. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to do something every day that moves you forward, and over time, those actions will accumulate into unstoppable momentum. Consistency is not glamorous, it's not flashy, it's not exciting, it is often invisible, but that is exactly why it works. While everyone else is chasing the next shiny thing, distracted by hype and instant gratification, you are quietly building your future brick by brick, habit by habit, step by step. The person who writes one page every day eventually finishes a book. The person who runs a mile every day eventually runs a marathon. The person who studies a little every day eventually becomes an expert. Every monumental achievement in history is built on relentless consistency. Consistency is what creates mastery. It is what creates credibility. It is what earns respect. Without it, skill deteriorates, talent goes wasted. Opportunity slips through your fingers. Consistency transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary outcomes because it creates momentum. Momentum is unstoppable. Momentum compounds. Momentum builds so that every step forward makes the next step easier. It pushes you past resistance, fatigue, doubt, and fear. When you are consistent, failure becomes temporary. Mistakes become lessons, setbacks become detours, not dead ends. Every time you show up, every time you take action, every time you refuse to quit, you reinforce a pattern of success. Your brain adapts, your habits strengthen, your results improve, and over time, the world cannot ignore you. The power of consistency is underestimated because it requires patience and humility. It asks you to trust a process that is invisible. It demands discipline when motivation wanes. It challenges you to keep going when it feels like nothing is happening. That is why most people fail. They underestimate the quiet power of showing up every day. They overestimate the flash, the shortcut, the instant win. But if you commit to consistency, you commit to unstoppable growth. You commit to building a life that cannot be shaken by obstacles, doubts, or failures. You commit to a path where every effort counts, where every repetition matters, where every choice reinforces your success. Consistency is not a one-time act. It is a lifestyle. It is a mindset. It is a decision to honor your goals by showing up again and again, no matter what. It is the refusal to quit, the refusal to settle, the refusal to allow temporary discomfort to dictate your future. The results will come. They always do. Not immediately, not magically, but inevitably, because consistency is relentless. Consistency turns dreams into reality, struggles into strength, efforts into achievements, and ordinary people into legends. It is the ultimate weapon because it cannot be defeated by talent, luck, or circumstance. Only inconsistency defeats it, and that is a choice you will never have to make if you commit to showing up again and again. No matter how hard it feels, no matter how invisible the progress seems, no matter how long it takes, because consistency, above all else, creates unstoppable momentum, unstoppable results, and unstoppable life. Comparison is one of the most dangerous enemies of progress. It is silent, invisible, and relentless. You see someone else achieving success, someone else hitting milestones, someone else celebrating victories, and immediately you start measuring yourself against them. You start asking yourself, why am I not there yet? Why am I behind? Why is everyone else ahead? That voice, that doubt, it is a trap. It is designed to steal your confidence, your focus, and your momentum. The truth is this: no one's journey is identical to yours. Everyone starts from different places, faces different obstacles, and has access to different resources. The person you compare yourself to has lived a different life, walked a different path, struggled with different challenges, and made different choices. Yet in your mind, you measure their highlight reel against your behind the scenes. You look at the trophy, the Instagram post, the promotion, the announcement, and you ignore the years of invisible effort, the failures, the sacrifices, the nights of doubt, the relentless grind that got them there. Comparison blinds you to your own progress. It makes your achievements feel smaller than they are. It diminishes your confidence and your belief in your own potential. It convinces you that your work is not enough, that your pace is too slow, that your results are inadequate. And that is a lie. The only person you should compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. Your growth, your progress, your achievements are unique. They cannot be measured against anyone else. Every small step you take, every challenge you overcome, every habit you build is your victory. Every time you push past fear, doubt, and discomfort, you are winning regardless of what others are doing. Comparison is a trap because it shifts your focus outward when your power lies inward. It makes you reactive instead of proactive. It makes you envious instead of inspired. It distracts you from the work you need to do to become the best version of yourself. The moment you stop comparing, you reclaim your energy, your focus, your confidence. The moment you stop comparing, you start measuring your life by your own standards, your own growth, your own milestones. You start to appreciate the progress you've made no matter how invisible it seems. Comparison is a trap because it steals joy. You cannot celebrate your victories if you are constantly measuring them against someone else's. You cannot feel proud if you are always asking, "Am I enough?" You cannot enjoy the journey if your mind is stuck in someone else's story. The power comes when you embrace your own journey, when you honor your path, when you recognize that every struggle, every sacrifice, every challenge is shaping a unique life that is yours alone. The person you see achieving success is not your competition. You are your only competition. Your only job is to outdo the version of yourself that existed yesterday. Your only responsibility is to grow, to push, to persevere, to become stronger, smarter, and more disciplined than you were before. Comparison is a trap because it limits your potential. It convinces you that the pace of others is the benchmark for your life. It convinces you that success is about beating others instead of building yourself. It convinces you that the outside world dictates your worth. And the truth is, it doesn't. The truth is that your progress is measured by your own efforts, your own consistency, your own discipline, and your own courage. Every time you focus on your path, every time you honor your process, every time you reject the temptation to compare, you unlock a level of focus, determination, and strength that no distraction can touch. The people who achieve extraordinary results are not the ones who constantly look at others. They are the ones who focus on themselves, who build habits, who trust their process, who embrace patience, who show up every day, who refuse to quit, and who never let comparison dictate their mindset or their actions. You are building something unique. You are creating a life that is yours with your skills, your passion, your vision, your discipline, your strength. Comparison cannot touch that. Comparison cannot define you. Comparison cannot limit the power that lies in your commitment to yourself. You only need to be better than yesterday. You only need to push a little further, fight a little harder, stay a little longer, believe a little stronger, and refuse to quit when progress feels invisible. Comparison is a trap. The moment you see it for what it is, the moment you refuse to fall into it, you reclaim your power, you reclaim your focus, you reclaim your life. You start living on your own terms. You start building unstoppable momentum. You start becoming a person who is not measured by others, but by the extraordinary version of yourself that you are creating every single day. Struggle is not a sign that you are failing. Struggle is not a punishment. Struggle is proof that you are growing, proof that you are alive, proof that you are stretching beyond what you thought was possible. Every challenge you face, every obstacle in your path, every moment that pushes you to your limits is a signal that you are on the edge of something extraordinary. Struggle tests you. Struggle forces you to dig deeper. Struggle forces you to confront your fears, your doubts, your weaknesses, and transform them into strength. The people who achieve greatness are not the ones who have easy lives. They are the ones who embrace struggle, who see it as the training ground for their potential, who use difficulty as fuel for their determination. Every time you feel discomfort, every time you feel resistance, every time life feels heavy, that is your signal. That is your moment to rise. That is your opportunity to prove to yourself that you are stronger than your circumstances. Struggle teaches resilience. It teaches endurance. It teaches patience. It teaches courage. It strips away excuses, exposes weaknesses, and shows you exactly where you need to grow. And when you confront struggle with determination, when you face it head on instead of running from it, it transforms into one of the most powerful tools you will ever have. Struggle signals that you are moving forward. It signals that you are attempting something meaningful. Nothing worth achieving comes without difficulty. No one becomes extraordinary without facing trials that test their resolve, their discipline, their focus, their belief in themselves. Every athlete who has ever won a championship, every entrepreneur who has ever built a business from the ground up, every artist, every leader, every innovator, they all faced struggle, and they all understood that struggle was not the enemy, it was the teacher. Struggle signals strength because it forces action. It forces you to make choices you would not make otherwise. It forces you to step into discomfort, to fight through fear, to embrace uncertainty, to push harder, run further, and stand taller than you imagined possible. The people who avoid struggle, who choose comfort over challenge, never reach their potential. They stay stuck. They settle. They live in mediocrity because they never realize that struggle is the door to strength. Struggle signals that you are leveling up, that you are being prepared for something bigger, that the effort you are putting in, even when it feels unbearable, is molding you into a person capable of achieving extraordinary results. The most successful people, the most resilient people, the most powerful people all have one thing in common. They welcome struggle. They do not run from it. They do not complain about it. They do not resent it. They see it as a message from life, a sign that they are on the right path, that their efforts matter, that their growth is inevitable if they continue to push. Every time you face rejection, every time you fail, every time something feels impossible, you are being forged in fire. You are being strengthened. You are being prepared for a level of success that could not be achieved without the trials, the hardships, and the relentless pressure. Struggle signals strength because it proves your capacity, it proves your resilience, it proves your ability to endure, adapt, and overcome. And the more you face, the stronger you become. The more you endure, the more unstoppable you become. The more you rise, the higher you climb. Struggle is not a setback. Struggle is a stepping stone. It is a sign that you are alive, that you are moving forward, that you are committed to building a life of purpose, achievement, and greatness. When you embrace struggle, you take control of your growth. You stop seeing difficulty as a wall and start seeing it as a ladder. You understand that every challenge is an opportunity. Every obstacle is a lesson. Every hardship is a chance to prove that your strength is greater than your circumstances. Struggle signals strength because it is life's way of telling you that you are capable of more than you imagine. It is life's way of shaping you, molding you, pushing you to rise to heights you could not reach without it. The people who succeed are not those who avoid struggle. They are those who see struggle, feel it, fight through it, and emerge stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable than ever before. The moment you decide not to quit, that is the moment everything changes. That is the moment you begin to create unstoppable momentum. Most people give up when it gets hard. Most people quit when the results don't show immediately. Most people settle when the challenge seems too big, the obstacle too high, the journey too long. But the truth is, the difference between those who succeed and those who fail is not talent, luck, or timing. It is the refusal to quit. Momentum is not built by perfect conditions. Momentum is not built when the world makes it easy. Momentum is built when you refuse to surrender, when you keep going, when you push through the pain, the doubt, the fear, the fatigue, and then the resistance that life throws at you. Every time you show up when it's hard, every time you choose action over excuses, every time you persist when nobody else would, you are creating momentum. Unstoppable momentum is the accumulation of repeated choices to continue, to fight, to endure, to advance, even when everything inside you wants to stop. The people who achieve extraordinary results understand this instinctively. They understand that failure is temporary. They understand that struggle is inevitable. They understand that every time they resist the urge to quit, they are compounding their strength, their resilience, and their power. Momentum is invisible at first. It feels slow. It feels like nothing is happening. You push, you strive, you grind, and yet the results seem distant. But every repetition, every effort, every refusal to quit is pushing you forward. Every time you refuse to surrender to doubt or fear, you are accelerating. Every time you take action instead of retreat, you are building speed that cannot be stopped. Quitting is easy. Everyone can quit. Giving up requires no effort, no courage, no discipline. But refusing to quit, persisting when every fiber of your being wants to stop, that takes strength, that takes courage, that takes a belief in yourself that is unshakable. That is how momentum is built. It is the cumulative result of countless choices to continue, countless decisions to endure, countless moments when you could have given up but chose to keep moving forward. The people who reach greatness are not those who never face setbacks. They are not those who never encounter failure. They are not those who never struggle. They are those who refuse to quit in spite of it all. They are those who understood that momentum is not a single action. It is a series of consistent, determined, relentless actions over time. Refusal to quit is contagious. The longer you persist, the more your mindset shifts. You stop seeing obstacles as barriers. You start seeing them as challenges to overcome. You stop fearing failure. You start embracing lessons. You stop doubting your ability. You start proving it again and again to yourself and to the world. Momentum becomes unstoppable when your determination is relentless. Momentum becomes unstoppable when quitting is no longer an option. Momentum becomes unstoppable when you understand that every setback, every obstacle, every doubt, every moment of fatigue is temporary, but the power you build by refusing to quit lasts forever. You create a force that cannot be derailed by circumstance, cannot be shaken by doubt, cannot be broken by criticism, because your commitment is absolute. Momentum transforms effort into results, struggle into strength, challenges into opportunity, and determination into victory. Once you create it, it compounds. Every small success accelerates the next. Every challenge overcome makes you more resilient. Every step forward makes the next step easier. Refusal to quit is not about heroic feats. It is about discipline. It is about persistence. It is about showing up when it's hard. It is about moving forward when progress seems invisible. It is about trusting that your effort matters even when it feels like nothing is happening. Momentum built this way cannot be stopped because it is fueled by unwavering belief, relentless action, and an unshakable refusal to surrender. No obstacle can hold you back. No doubt can slow you down. No fear can push you back. The power of refusing to quit is that it makes you unstoppable, unshakable, undeniable. You create a life that is immune to setbacks, a path that cannot be blocked, a force that cannot be resisted. When you refuse to quit, you stop being a victim of circumstance and start being the master of your destiny. You move with purpose, with power, with unstoppable energy, and nothing can stand in